be all right. Maybe. Martin, Raider Lorian, Paul. Hey, B. Al. We've been waiting on you. Herman Munster. What's going on, my friend? Hey, Freddie B, a.k.a. Freddie B. Elon Bush, Wyoming Raider. They're jumping in. Nice. Hey, Carl Howard. It's been a while. Good to see you, pal. Chuck Raider. What's going on, my friend? Atticus B. Rocket. Yoshi, Oscar.
All right, welcome to this episode number 373. 373.
Sure.
We got to start doing this more often. Okay, here we go. Raiders Fan Radio.
What's up, guys? Hey, it's Mike Garofalo, NFL Network here in the home office, and you are listening to the Raiders Fan Radio podcast, taking that lighter journey into the dark side with Murf, Swag Jeff, and Michelle. She's got great hair. It's a little pink, it's a little purple, whatever it is. I'll tell you what, if I could grow it, I would sign up for that color today. So listen to her and the entire crew as they give you all the information on the Raiders on the podcast that benefits the One Nation Foundation. It's a great cause. It's a great pod. Tune in, turn it up. Here it comes. All that Raiders info and takes coming at you right now.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, L.A., Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murf's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Paletnikov, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio. Take it away, guys.
Why, thank you, Brett Musburger. What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for what we trust will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, coming to you live here on the, watch this, on the Believe Network for the first time.
Let's go!
We have changed platforms, and we have found a new home here at the Believe Network. That's BLEAV for those of you that are keeping score at home. And we appreciate the good folks at Believe. Appreciate Cam and Carter and everybody that's been a part of getting us ported over there and set up over there at the Believe Network. And so we're very thankful for the opportunity that we're going to get with these folks, not only for the advertising opportunities and the exposure for this show, but all that leads to raising more money for our nonprofit, which is the One Nation Foundation. And so we are very excited about kicking off this partnership with the Believe folks. And we'll see where this thing goes, man. It's all about growing this whole podcast thing. When it comes to the video version of this show, which is where you are joining us live if you're in the chat room at youtube.com/RaidersFanRadio, that will not change. That will stay the same. It'll always be that, and will always be every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. But our audio podcast, you will find us on the Believe Network. Also won't change, though. Your feed won't change if you're already subscribed. And thank you to all of those of you that are. All you got to do is find your favorite audio podcast service, and you can subscribe to the show that way. That is at Spotify. That is Apple Podcast. That is Google. That is Pandora. That is iHeartRadio. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you can even ask your internet-connected device to play Raiders Fan Radio, and it certainly will. So thanks again to the good folks at Believe. Look forward to where this thing's going to go. And let's go and get into the show. Let's talk about the Raiders. We got a lot to talk about. We got some news because we got the schedule. Finally, we can freaking.
Finally.
Wait, where was it? Hold on. I got to find him. Finally. I don't know what it says about us that we wait to plan the entirety of our year for the NFL schedule to come out, but pretty much does. So anyway, so now we got a lot of fun things to talk about, not only what our plans are this year for already that we know that we're going to get into around the schedule, but then also our schedule prediction show. So it's going to be so fun. And we call it optimistic and mildly ridiculous because that's kind of like, you could describe this show that way.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you could describe the three of us as optimistic and mildly ridiculous. And that's why we call this show The Lighter Journey into the Dark Side. So anyways, without further ado, let me go ahead and turn it over to my best friend and yours. He is the man that adorns temporarily, because we're getting ready to move soon.
Come
on. And we're getting closer and closer to the new Fan Cave 2.0. We're almost there. But in the meantime, welcome the man that adorns the right side of the poker table. He is my best friend and yours, and he is Swag Jeff.
It's styling and profiling.
What up, Swaggo?
Yo, man, I'm fired up to be here. Yeah, man, the schedule's released. And, I mean, you talked about, what does it say about us if, we schedule all of our stuff around Raider? But that's our vacations.
That's true.
Yeah.
We go to Vegas, we go to other destination places and stuff like that. We schedule our vacations not only with just the three of us, but with our families.
Yeah.
It's Raiders. It's Raider shit, man.
Yeah.
So there's no shame in that for sure. So yeah, I'm excited to get into this. I'm excited to talk about our schedule predictions because we're always all over the place, especially the one sitting over here to my right. So without further ado, so Murf, we don't do the show alone.
Heck no, we don't. Let's
No,
class
heck
it
no,
up.
absolutely. So sitting over here across from me is the one and only, the lovely Michelle Swag.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey. No, I think that the league doesn't take into account the amount of people that need that schedule
Talk on
early so they can plan out the games that they can afford, the travel they can afford. They're so out of touch, I think, that we can't just drop a dime and be like, oh, okay, we're in Vegas next weekend. People need the time to plan their travel. And so, yeah, we wait for that damn thing, and it feels like it's later and later every year, even though I know it probably comes out about the same time. It always just feels like it takes forever.
Yeah.
When you know they have the damn thing.
Absolutely. Well, I think they released the preseason schedule a little bit early this year.
Did they?
Even earlier, because
even early,
end of May,
it's normally the end of May when we see that, but now we know when the Raider Dad event's going to
Yeah,
be. So,
good.
you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I will in a second. But first, I want to set Michelle off because that's
no.
always fun. But how about that? Because speak on that. You touched on about them being out of touch, them being media or league or whatever. There was even a couple of media members that said, "Look at fans." Like, I'm paraphrasing, but the sentiment was this: look at how the NFL has got fans wrapped around their finger that they can literally make a schedule release an event. And that mindset and that message is exactly what you're speaking to. It's like, dumbass, we spend thousands and thousands of dollars and have to take off work and travel and all these. So yes, we are hanging on this schedule release. It's not because we're all just, freaking patsies for the NFL or whatever. You know what I mean? That rubbed me the wrong way, Michelle.
It pisses me off because the NFL is nothing without the fans.
Come on.
And they have forgotten. I don't even want to say that they're forgetting, but I think they have forgotten that without the fans and their willingness to travel and their willingness to pay fucking absurd ticket prices and because they want a fucking shred of joy in their life and a shred of fun. And, God forbid that we wait so we can plan that. So we can plan those times with our friends or with our families or whatever. So, yeah, that pisses me off because it without us, the NFL is just a bunch of men playing with each other, it's not, without us, it's nothing. So don't forget about us, even though I feel like they have.
I think so too. And Jeff, it's like, not only like, does it feel like it's that out of touch, but then even I think for us as Raiders, because just about the majority of us, I would be willing to, not even willing to bet. I know the majority of us are out of market. Because whether you're Bay Area or LA or global or, you know what I mean? Like shout out like our buddy Micah in Germany, shout out Paul and Martin in the UK and, Rico in the Canary Islands and just the people that we know with Ernesto down in Mexico City, just the people that we know around our little show that are international. And like, these people are like, this might be a once in a lifetime trip for some fans. Yeah. And you're going to give them shit for waiting on the schedule release? Like, I think that's lame, dude.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think it is too. And, not to mention, and like you guys said, the amount of money that we spend don't forget about us fans because we're spending, I think I saw Hooligan Nation in the chat said that right now a pair of tickets to the Bears game is a GER.
Jeez.
God dang, man.
I mean, come on, dude. And people are going to pay that and they're going to go because they want to see their beloved Raiders. They want to see their team, play their game. And so don't forget about us because like you said, we make this shit. Yeah. This is us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But anyway, so we will suffer no fools around here, and we will celebrate the damn schedule. And if you don't like it, then shove it up your ass.
Shove it.
Hey. But anyway, so appreciate all of those of you being here tonight. Thanks to everybody that's in the chat room and swag. Just shout them out. And also, I know we probably got some super chats already come in and tell them where that money's going to go.
Absolutely, man. So Raider 7528's in the building. Storm, Juan Hernandez, My 2 Cents, Hooligan Nation, Martin, James Furpo, Wyoming Raider, Paul in there. Rorschach Raider is in there. Let's see here. Mark Barris is in the building. Raider Lorian's in the building. Yoshi. Mark Barris with a $2 donation says JPJ needs to come on RFR.
Oh, nice.
That'll be fun. That would be fun for sure.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, Yoshi with a $10 donation to the One Nation Foundation.
Thank you, Yoshi.
Yep. And then Raider Lorian says, great schedule release video by the media team. Makes us feel like we're going 17-0 with a $10 donation to the One Nation Foundation.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And like Murf said, all those amazing super chats, Mark Barris, who else? Raider
Yoshi.
Lorian and Yoshi. Those are going to the One Nation Foundation. So we give to different Raider-related charities with all the money that we make doing this show. And that goes to the Bolitnikoff Foundation, which I believe is going to be the Bolitnikoff Crab Fest is going to be, I believe, in October, if we're hearing correctly. Don't quote us on that, but I think it's going to be in October this 10th. Year, October 10th. And so the annual Crab Fest, that's where we present our big check to the Bolitnikoff Foundation, and then of course Raider Dad. So that is the August 16th preseason game against the 49ers. We're going to be going out there and presenting a check to him for. Have we announced what that? No,
but I guess we can now because it's all going to. Do we want to, or just wait till the event?
I don't care.
let them. Go ahead, tell them. It's their money.
Yeah. We donated a check for $3,500 to Raider Dad. So the biggest check that we've ever given Raider Dad. So respect to Josh Camonite and respect to all of you guys. So all the amazing super chats that came in all winter long, all that, any sponsors that we've had, all that's going to Raider Dad, to the One Nation Foundation. So and you guys are literally making a difference in kids' lives and their families. So Raider Dad takes underprivileged kids and their parental figures to Raider games for the first time and give them an amazing tailgate experience.
Yes.
And so for the One Nation Foundation to be a small part of that, there's other amazing sponsors, Raising Cane's, Jay's Gourmet, Pepsi is out there, Woodson Whiskey's out there, some amazing folks out there. But for us to be a part of that and for us to be kind of like the core sponsor of that event is just
one of them anyways.
One of them. Yeah. I mean, but they've got banner. I mean, their shirt literally says One Nation Foundation on it.
I'm wearing it right
there
now.
There you go. So we couldn't do that without you, without those amazing super chats that come in here. So cannot thank you enough. Like we always say, we could do a show just doing nothing but thanking you for your generosity. But seriously, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you all very, very much. We appreciate you, Raider Nation. And there's the applause button.
Hey.
Sorry, it took me a minute. And you know what else I'm looking forward to?
What's that?
I think this is kind of start turning into an annual tradition, is that we go to the Raider Dad event, which is going to be on a Saturday, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're taking an extra day in Vegas to hang out and enjoy the desert sun there and hang out by the pool where they just happen to serve mojitos. Yeah. And so it's kind of fun to get looped up on mojitos and then do a show, which is always really interesting. And it's even going to be better this year. So we did it. So Jeff and I did it 2 years in a row. The first year we forgot to turn the mics on.
Yep.
So it's literally just a show of drunken silence of Jeff and I doing a show. So that last year we figured out how to turn the microphones on, and I think the first one might have even been better. The one where you couldn't hear us.
Yeah, that second one was rough, man. And we were all like disheveled and stuff. I think my gut was hanging out the entire freaking episode and all that. And we were just going on and on about just who knows what.
Oh my God.
Who knows what? It was just,
So funny.
Oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
So
And then I went and napped for 6 hours. I woke up at like 1 a.m. I'm like, whoops.
And so there's only one way, Jeff, for us to level the show up. The third annual Drunken Podcast coming to you the day after the Raider Dad event is now going to feature Michelle and her daughter, Libby.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this will be the first Raider Dad event I've been to.
Yeah.
This will be the first one. So I'm glad we're finally able to come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there's so many people out there that and while we're out there, ask, where's Michelle? Where's Michelle? Where's Michelle? You know what I mean? So this will be cool. This will be the first time that all three of us have been there for it. I'm really happy you're able to go too, because unfortunately, Bolitnikoff, the Crab Fest, is right there, as we mentioned, at the 10th of October, and Michelle's not able to make that one. So Jeff and I will just kind of be flying in there and hanging out for the event, of course, and we'll do our show as we do, but then we're going to turn around pretty much and boogie on out of there after that. Yeah. So that won't be a huge trip for us, but we are very excited though to still continue to be partnered with Bolitnikoff and present the check and all that.
100%.
But I said all that to tell you this. That's why we're really happy Michelle's going to be there for the Raider Dad event. So that's going to be really, really cool. All right. Especially you said you're going to be there with your daughter.
Yeah.
Like it fits. It works. You know what I mean?
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's going to be really cool. All right. Swag Jeff, let's see. Shout out the chat room. Everybody in the chat room, please. And then let's hit some contact info. And then I got an idea.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, first you're going to give us an episode number.
That's an idea.
There's an idea. I'm really good at this.
You're so good at this.
It's only 373 of these. You think I'd remember?
Yeah, well, yeah.
But do that, and then shout out the chat room, and then play some contact info, and then we'll talk about the Raiders.
Absolutely. So Martin is in there. My 2 cents. CPA Joel is in the building. Hey, Joel.
What's up, Joel?
Good to see you, Joel. Let's see here.
Oh my gosh! Look what Joel just did.
Chuck Raider in the building. Paul in the building. Yoshi gifted 5 memberships.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you, Yoshi.
absolutely. A pair of donations of $2 from Mark Barris, who says Murfitos.
Love it.
And then CPA Joel jumps in and says, "Rest in peace to my Raider dad, Rick Denning. He approves of mojitos for sure." But with a $50 donation to the One Nation Foundation. Wow, thank you, Joel. Thank you so much, Joel.
Yeah.
Wow, right on, man. That's very, very cool, man. We appreciate that so very much. And isn't it, you know, I won't say isn't it funny? It's not funny, but it's just so cool that like the platform, and this is why Raider Dad speaks to us so much, the platform that sports and especially this Raider thing gives us to connect with our kids, and just like we connected with our, you know, parental figures, moms and dads and everything. It's just been, you know, seeing you with little kids, Jeff, and the way that they're already taken to the Raiders and all that, you know, and for you, Michelle, to see Libby later, and you know what I mean? And you know, Libby's in her 20s. And so for her to, you know, see the Raiders and see your fandom in a different light now at that, you know, at that age and all that, it's just such a cool thing, you know what I mean? And it's funny, my kids, like, they love the Raiders because dad loves the Raiders, but they're not like football junkies. But yet when it comes time to, like, if a Raider game's on, boom, they're right on the couch with me and like locked in, you know what I mean? Like, they're all about it, you know what I mean? So, so anyways, really cool stuff there from Raider Dad, and love seeing the connections between, you know, moms and kids and dads and kids and grandparents and all the good stuff there that happens around sports, and especially around the Raiders.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So, yeah. So like Murph said, each and every week, I take a significant number within Raider Nation related back to the episode number. And this episode is 373. So this one, we're not going that far back.
How far are you going back?
Just Thanksgiving Day in 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a recently retired quarterback was 24-39 and had a touchdown as the Raiders downed the Dallas Cowboys 36-33 in overtime on Thanksgiving Day. Yeah. And know who else had a touchdown in that game?
Who's that?
Marcus Mariota. Hey, I lost my shit that day.
Well, yeah, you did.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But more importantly, that day, Derek Carr threw for 373 yards.
Oh, nice.
Thanks, Derek.
Thanks.
Oh, man, I wish I had the Aloha Corner music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to set you up with that.
Oh, that's okay.
Murph put that in the trash can quick.
Yeah, he is.
That's taking up room. Get rid of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, hey, speaking of taking up room, let's hear from Uncle Mosh.
Oh, damn it, Jeff.
Oh, I'm sending him.
Oh, 100%. He's going to whip your ass for that one.
Here with updated contact info. So, sit up, zip up, shut up.
Just off the dome, man. Boom.
Yeah. That was quick. That was quick.
345-3346. Or as Murph would say, 909-345-3346.
Like Chris Farley. Some people might say I have a weight problem.
Yeah. You want to email me? Email me. show@RaidersFanRadio.com.
No, your face does.
Or
yeah.
on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes. Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. The Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio. Insta something. Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio.
The ticky-ticky-tacky-tack.
TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about the Twitch? Some
Sorry,
of you out there
twitching.
twitching. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Good. Oh, nicely done. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, solid.
It's like week 4 up in here. All right, so let's see.
Don't tell me about your life with your week 4. Yes, I'm on fire. Let's go. Watch out, Michelle. I'm coming for your ass.
I'm next. I feel like I'm next.
But Valerie always said a strong 3.
Well, there you go.
She's probably just being kind.
I'm always looking out for my dog. Come on, man.
Oh, my gosh. Remember I said lighter journey into the dark side? This is what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah.
Mildly ridiculous. Thanks to the folks that Believe for having our podcast on the network. Oh my gosh! I hope they don't cancel us in the first show in and be like,
Yeah, it's a little different than what they're used to,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. We'd be like, hey, remember that contract we signed? We'd be like, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the Raiders. Raider Craig in the chat said, talk about the schedule release if you haven't already. Well, Craig,
They released the schedule?
that's the rumor.
Huh.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Man, I've got certain information, all right? Certain things that come to light, and, given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm blathering about. I've got information, man. New shit has come to light.
All right, new shit has come to light indeed. As we mentioned at the top of the show, the schedule has been released. So it is time for our annual mildly ridiculous prediction show. So this is where we're going to run down the schedule and we're going to give each of you our opinion on what the Raiders are going to do or not do in terms of the schedule. And then we're keeping track of these because we're going to go back and check our math at the end of the year. Now, last year, I can tell you, even without looking at last year's tests, we all flunked.
Horribly.
Even me, who I had a really, I thought, conservative 8 and 9.
You predicted 8 and 9 last year?
8 and 9, 9 or 9 and 8,
Yeah.
one or the other.
Are you
Well,
even a fan?
That's what I was thinking.
jeez.
Jeez.
I mean, and I was
that was realistic.
yeah, and I was double wrong.
You were double wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that, how bad is that when you predict your team to have a losing record and you're double wrong?
God.
And then there was Michelle.
And then there was me.
Well,
Then I said we would go 14-3. We
Let's
had
go.
We had 2 7-game win streaks within my schedule predictions. So yeah.
Those middle 3 games were tough. Yeah.
So that 10-game losing streak that we actually had, that was
That's where they really
that's where they got
screwed
you.
me.
You came out of the gate strong with that win against
So
Baltimore, and then
Ah.
it was just all downhill from there.
Yeah.
How did you end up doing? Do you remember?
I think I was just a game or 2 off of you. I think
Yeah.
I predicted us at 12-5 or something like that. And I was really wrong too.
Okay. So, but here's why this show is fun though, and I will tell you this: that even though our predictions might be mildly ridiculous, we're going to give you real reasons on why we think that's going to happen.
Yes.
It's not just like, oh, this team has better colors than that team, or we don't like that team's quarterback or whatever. Like, we're going to give you real optimistic reasons about how the Raiders could pull this thing off. So
A few of those might make their way into my decisions, but for the most part, I'm going to take.
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah,
try
yeah.
to be.
You're gonna
I
try.
even wore Mo's shirt.
Oh,
to-
perfect.
Oh,
To
yes.
channel his unbiased Raider prediction. So that's
very level-headed, very
that's my goal.
analytical.
That's
Okay.
yeah. Well, but I'm already looking because I sort of partially filled out, and we already have 9 wins.
Oh, perfect.
Just at first glance.
And I haven't even finished filling this thing out. So
Okay. All right. Well, let's kick it off. We're not going to do the preseason really.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to. But what I do think is going to be fun is a couple of things. One is that our home game is against the Niners, which is always fun, and the rumor is now that they're going to be doing joint practices with the Niners because in the absence of the preseason, which is pretty much all we have nowadays, I love that they do these joint practices. So they're going to be practicing against the Niners all week long and then having the game. And it's the second preseason game. So if we're going to be seeing starters and
Oh,
stuff,
we'll see starters for a while.
it's going to be we'll see a half of starters.
Yeah.
And they're going to be scrapping each other all week long. Like that
Oh,
actually could be a
yeah.
fun ass preseason game to go to.
Yeah.
And then the one before that, Pete's going back to freaking Seattle. Pete and Gino are backing
that's
up and
right.
headed to the Pacific
I
Northwest.
didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to Seattle. So that's going to have some mustard on it. That'll be interesting. And then at the Cardinals, that's just whatever. That's going to be a bunch of dudes that
Yeah,
are
it's going
just
to be Cam Miller and Carter Bradley time and just, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll be lucky if we see Carter Bradley for crying out loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so preseason though, although not worried about the competition of it. Well, I guess sort of, but you guys know what I mean. The wins and losses don't matter. It's an evaluation
Right.
period. But there's some interesting things that are going to happen around it between especially those first 2 games. So all right, so let's kick off the season here. We'll start with Michelle, ladies first. So we are going at New England.
Okay.
So now with Mike Vrabel at head coach, you've got Drake May, a second year in the system. You've got Josh McDaniels, now the offensive coordinator, the guy that our most despised probably person in football right now, if you ask me. I can't stand that man and what he did to our team. So you got the Raiders going in for a 1:00 game, the early game, September 7th. Michelle, are we doing scores or just outcomes?
No, I'm not doing scores.
I didn't do scores.
Okay, we'll just do outcomes. All right.
We are going to beat the shit out of the Patriots because there is still, I don't know how many guys, I don't even know if there's many guys left on the team from the McDaniels fiasco, but there's enough for there to be some hatred towards that motherfucker. So sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I've used up everybody's F word today. So
and for next week.
And for next week too. So sorry. But yeah, so we're gonna beat them.
Yeah. No, I have that as a win as well. I think that one's definitely going to have some stank on it with McDaniels on the other sideline. And yeah, I think that's going to be like a rout.
Okay.
I think that, with all the, draft picks and all the free agents and all that stuff that the Patriots signed and all that, I think it's going to all be for naught because I think the Raiders are going to come in pissed off at Josh McDaniels. And I think that could be like a 14 or 17 point win.
I think that you're definitely going to have some guys in that locker room that are going to have a little bit of extra something for that game because of the McDaniels factor. But also, too, I think that this is going to be and listen, every game is important, but I think that when you have the amount of young players that we have and the way that they're going to want to win, that is the way this team is being built is to win late and to win on the road. Okay. And so here to being on the road at New England, if Ashton Genty is who we all think he is, I don't care what the Patriots did on defense. But we're going to be able to take it to them in the running game. I know they're going to be scrappy because they're going to take on the personality of their coach. And Vrabes is scrappy as shit, and he's a good head coach. He was one of the guys I was rooting for. It was going to be our coach, for crying out loud.
Sure.
So I like Mike Vrabel. We ain't going to flip this team around on its head in one offseason already. It ain't going to happen that quick. And when you have that many new players for them that are free agents, this isn't just a draft class. Yeah, draft class and a massive free agent haul. It's going to take time for them. They might be good by the end of the year. They ain't going to be great in week one.
Yeah.
That shit ain't going to gel week one, especially with the lack of playing time in the preseason that now these players have. So I think that's a very fair W. I don't see it as being a rout like you do because I think this is going to be a ball control type scenario where we're running the shit out of the football, playing the hell out of defense, keeping the ball out of Drake May's hand. This could be like a 21-17, 17-13, somewhere in that range, kind of a win for the Raiders. So I'm with you guys. I got it as a W. All right, Michelle. Now we've got our first home game against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah. Okay. And I promise, I really am trying to be objective here, but we are also going to win this game.
All right.
It's our first home game. Like, it has to be a win. It's going to be a win. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I have this as a win as well. I think, that they're coming in hot off of the big win against the Patriots. And yeah, I think they're going to keep that momentum rolling into week 2. And yeah, I have that as a win for sure.
For sure?
For sure.
All right.
Take it to the bank.
All right. I'm going off your guys' script. That's an L.
Wow.
I got us losing that one because I don't think home field advantage is what we wish it were. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Everybody that's going to be out there at that game, week 2, prove me wrong. But how many times have we seen opposing teams' fans come into our stadium and jack up our quarterback's cadence because it's too damn loud in there?
But the Chargers, though.
That's true.
They can barely fill it. Half of our
That's
stadium.
true, but it's early.
Yeah.
And
true.
LA is not that far. Like, it's if they want to, they could show up in full force. And the way that now, I don't know. We'll see. But I have a sneaking suspicion that the 3 Charger fans that are going to be, that exist are going to be energized. And then you got to add on the Harbaugh versus Pete factor. And that team is settling into what it is to play ball for Harbaugh. They're bought in. It was a playoff team last year. Like, I don't see any world where right? They made the playoffs last year, right? Didn't our whole division make it?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah. So I just don't see a world where we come out of the gate that strong. And I think that this will it's gonna be a test for Pete. Now listen, if they pull it off, Massive. That's huge.
Yeah.
If we
That's
start
huge.
off 2 in a row and one of those are against a division rival and a freaking just a existence rival between, Papa Pete and Jim, I think that's a big ass deal. So I think that could be a huge game. But I don't think that's going to be an easy win for the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we
no.
went over in the division last year, y'all. So I'm just again going back to that whole point of objective, Michelle. And I might be even more objective this year than I ever have been. As excited as I am, like I'm going to really try to be realistic about this thing. We went 0-6 last year in the division.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They're a good team, man. I hate it. I hate them, but they're good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the chat room saying?
Let's see here. A lot of people are. Ron, I think I saw earlier, said 1-16. I want him to outperform my prediction for once. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Jordan Ford says we're going to go 7-10 this year. So hey, just let's go by games here.
Yeah, go by
Jordan
games,
Ford.
go by
Yeah,
games.
because we're gonna announce our full prediction at the end right here.
Paul said the Chargers couldn't fill a taxi at the airport.
Wow, that's true. He's not wrong.
It's very true. But you know what? I loved your point about Harbaugh versus Pete Carroll.
Okay.
But I think that Pete Carroll has historically kind of had Harbaugh's number. So I think
that's
I
very
think
true,
Harbaugh
too.
might come in maybe a touch intimidated.
Okay, I
Because
like
he's looking across the sideline and he's seeing his rival. I'm
true.
telling you, this year and over the next couple of years, this Charger Raiders rivalry is going to have some extra juice.
Yeah,
to
I
it.
agree. Yeah,
extra juice.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, Michelle, we're going at Commanders.
Okay, y'all are gonna be proud of me because I have this as a loss.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that even my absurd fandom could choose this as a win. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have this as a I have this as a loss as well. I think Jaden Daniels is going to not like a lot of these other quarterbacks that kind of goes through the sophomore slump.
Yeah.
I think he's going to ball out again this year. He's the truth. He's the real deal. So I have this as a loss for sure, and it might get ugly.
I have a feeling too. We'll call it the Jeremy Chin revenge game that we're taking on the Commanders. But I agree, they're well coached. They've got a phenomenal quarterback. They can play defense. And the part that gets me the most is that this is an East Coast early game,
yeah.
and that has been a damn thief of joy for us for how many years now? I mean, it seemed like we finally had it licked there for a second, where we were, some of those Derek teams where we were going on the East Coast and winning, but. I mean, look at it. I mean, it's just we historically over the past however many years, we have struggled in early games on the East Coast, on the East Coast, period. And so I got that as a loss for us too. So all right, so I've got the Raiders so far at 1-2, taking on the Bears in Week 4. Michelle,
I have us winning this game,
okay?
and I don't have a reason. I just feel it in my heart.
It's the Bears.
Yeah,
That's all the reason you need.
That's all the reason you need. I have this as a loss.
Okay.
Yeah, I have this as a loss. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a monster year this year.
Okay.
I think he is. I think he's, he kind of came out, he kind of struggled a little bit at times last year, but they addressed some things. They addressed the offensive line last year, or this draft. And they got, who'd they grab? Tooney. The former Chiefs guard.
Yeah, just signed him to a 2-year deal.
Signed him to a 2-year deal. So, so that offensive line is bolstered up. So Caleb is going to have plenty of time. So I have that as a close loss.
Okay, I got it the other way. I got it as a close win because it's a home game. Now, all that shit that I just talked about, us, giving into opposing teams' fans and taking over Allegiant, you bet they're going to be debarring a whole bunch up in there. It's going to be a lot of dark blue and orange in that stadium, unfortunately, because no one wants to hang out in Chicago. You know what I mean? That lives there. They want to go out and see something cool, which is in Vegas. And so they're going to make their vacation around Las Vegas, and they're going to want to see their Bears while they're in town. And everybody's going to be, rest in peace, Norm and their Bears and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to, not rest in peace, George Wendt, anyways, the Bears guy, but you know what I'm saying? And so but I've got it as a win because I think that this is, again, the kind of game that we can win with good defense and a running game. I think that we can control and keep the ball out of Caleb Williams' hand, keep him from lighting it up, Jeff, and I really do. And while I think they're going to be marketably improved over they were last year, I don't think it's going to be enough. And I don't think and the only reason we lost him last year was because we had dumbass head coaches. Because of Luke freaking Getsy and that moronic moves that he made. Remember that Bears game last year? That was awful. It was awful. So, anyways, Michelle just got the eye.
I did. My whole eye twitched when you said Luke Getsy. That was that one.
So I think that's a close win for us. So that puts us at 2-2 going at Colts then, Michelle.
Okay, remind me who their quarterback is.
Anthony
It's either
Richardson.
Anthony Richardson or who was the quarterback from Danny Dimes?
Oh,
No, not Danny Dimes.
Yeah. That's him. Yeah, Daniel Jones.
Oh, Daniel Jones. Yes.
Danny
okay.
Dimes. Yeah.
Okay,
you got it right.
then I have this as a win. This is a win. So, for the same reason as the last win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have this as a win as well. I don't think I think their quarterback room is mid at best. And, Anthony Richardson could be a major bust, waiting to happen.
What do you mean waiting to happen?
Well, I guess you're right. I mean, the dude got friggin'
yeah.
benched for Joe Flacco a couple times last year.
Yeah.
So, I have this as a win for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I got that as a W for all the reasons that you just said there. And again, going on the road, you're gonna hear me say this all night long.
Yeah.
Run the ball, play defense. That's how you win on the road, and that's how you win late, and that's how you win in the postseason. And so I think we're gonna be able to do that effectively. I know they've got a pretty decent defense. They've got a pretty good offensive line, but you gotta have a quarterback. Anthony Richardson hasn't proved a damn thing, and neither is Daniel Jones. Like neither one of those guys is striking fear into the hearts of defenses. You know what I mean? So I'm with y'all. I think
Their quarterback room reminds me of our quarterback room last year.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, you can have all the weapons and stuff like that, but ain't no one scared of Gardner Minshew and ain't O'Connell.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True.
All right, except areolas.
Some areolas and what are you gonna do?
What's better than that?
Winning's better than that. Okay.
All right. Okay, so then we've got the Titans at Allegiant Stadium.
Okay,
Michelle.
I have this as a win, and I need it to be a win because we are in Tennessee, and so I know a lot of Tennessee fans. So I need this to be a win. So now I'm proclaiming it. It will be a win. That's the only reason.
Deal.
Yeah. Every time the Raiders play the Titans, it's circled on my calendar.
Yeah.
Because it's personal. It's personal.
It's personal.
It's personal. I think.
Tell your story.
Well, this.
Hello, my name is Jeff, and I used to be
a Titans guy about 6 or 7 years ago. How long have I been on this show? 6 years?
Yeah, so you're going out. You're like 7 now.
Yeah. So it's fully out of my system now. There ain't nothing left, but
ain't no two-tone blue left.
No, there ain't no two-tone blue. But yeah, no. This one has a lot of juice on it. I need them to beat the shit out of them because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, because when the 3 we played in a row at Nissan Stadium, you were still wearing two-tone.
I was wearing two-tone blue, and every time the Raiders would win.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And then when I joined Raider Nation, they haven't beat the Titans.
So
the
This
last season in Oakland, we got our asses spanked like 42-21 or
Thanks,
something
Will
like that.
Compton.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Jackass. And then we went to the Titans game and watched another loss. That was Josh McDaniels.
That was my favorite thing of that whole game was that. Sorry, I totally cut you off.
No,
but
it's okay.
I want to compliment you because that was Darren Waller fumbling in the end zone.
Oh,
that was Derek Carr. Throwing a bunch of bad picks and stuff. And at one point, it's me and Tida and my buddy Jimmy, and we're sitting in like the front row, and Jeff's filming the thing, and all you hear him is go, "Come on, Derek, you motherfucker!"
It's one of my favorite videos I've ever made.
It's so funny, man, because it was like there was no reason for us to lose that game. And we went in there and just stunk it up, man. It was on all fronts.
Yeah.
People dropping passes like crazy. Derek throwing bad balls. Couldn't run the football. Couldn't stop the Titans. It was just like,
how embarrassing.
jeez, it was ugly.
It was really
And it was
ugly.
like week 2, right?
It was week 3.
Week 3,
because we were 0-2.
remembers all the
We were
details.
0-2, and we were like, all right, this is the game for us to get back on track and all this stuff. And then we laid a freaking goose egg out there, in Nissan Stadium.
I remember we went to because we had our joint tailgate with Bussin' with the Boys.
Yes,
we had this amazing tailgate before the game started, and then we all met back up. It's this place called Acme Feed and Seed. It's on this big giant rooftop overlooking the city and the river and everything. It's beautiful, and so we're all sitting up there and just down bad.
Yeah.
It was like there's like 9 of us just sitting around doing shots, brooding.
Yeah.
For real.
Literally.
For real.
It was rough,
so
man.
bad.
That was bad. That was bad. So
Yeah.
anyway,
but all that being said, I think big win. Big win.
I do too. There's a reason that the Titans were the first pick in the draft this last year.
Oh,
and Cam Ward, while I think he's going to be a pretty solid player in the NFL, he ain't going to flip the franchise around on his head in week 5. So anyway, so I've got that as a W2, so here I am with my conservative opinion and the logical approach to this. And I've got us at freaking 4-2 going at Kansas City. Before you talk about that, your pick there, Michelle, I want to shout out my buddy Sterling Holmes at Homestretch KC. If you find him on Twitter, host of Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City. Hit me up today. Was it today? Was it today? Was it yesterday?
You were on the show today.
It was today. Yeah. So he hit me up today and asked me if I wanted to be on the. Sorry, it's been a blur here lately. I wanted to be on the show, and so I did a segment with him. Went behind enemy lines and went on and rep the Raiders. They're on the Kansas City channel as he does like his AFC West review and has me in very kindly to rep the Raiders and talk about what's going on in Raider Nation. So thanks to him for that, and then also too thanks to Harry Ruiz, man. Much respect,
bro.
For Harry having me on Raider Nation Radio a couple days ago. That was an absolute blast, and Harry is not only a massive supporter of our show, but of Raider Dad and a lot of the same causes that we are, and just like literally the nicest guy you'll ever meet. If any of you are going to be at the Raider Dad event, please come by and say hi to Harry. You won't regret it. He's just the sweetest guy in the world. And for him to give our dopey little show a platform, a couple times a year is just, we're incredibly flattered by that. So anyway.
And more importantly, the foundation.
More importantly, the foundation.
He gave you like 5 minutes at the end of y'all's segment to just like tell everyone in Raider Nation about the One Nation family. Like, that's so freaking cool.
So freaking cool. Yeah. So thank you to Harry and thank you to Sterling Holmes over there at Sports Radio 810. All right, Michelle. So at the Chiefs.
All right, y'all gonna be proud of me again because I do have this as a loss. Being an Arrowhead, I think this is gonna be a loss. But hold tight because I have a better prediction coming down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I have this one as a loss too. I think we're kind of coming in riding high up a couple of good wins against the AFC South, and going into the bye week, I think we limp into the bye week.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's going to be a tall order for it. The only way I think that this could potentially go our way, other than if the refs keep your freaking flags in your pockets. But we've just always historically had such a damn problem covering Kelsey. Well, now we've got all these big defensive backs. So, if we've got a healthy Christian Wilkins by week 7, and we can get some pressure on Mahomes, we've seen how to beat Patty Mahomes.
Yeah.
Put him on his ass. And so if we can get some good pressure from Wilkins, if we've got a healthy Malcolm Kuntz that's returning to form, we know what Max is going to do. Maybe JJ Pegues is who we think he could be, or, Tonka Hemingway. I think that if we can get some dominant performances on the defensive line, I think there's a shot we could win this game because Trav is not Trav anymore.
No.
Those days of 6 catches, 3 touchdowns against us, them days are over. I don't think he's going to be able to find holes in the zone like he used to, not only because he's getting older, but because you think Pete Carroll's going to let that guy run around loose?
Right.
Hell no, man. I'm telling you, this is a different version of the Raiders we're going to see. And so, but I don't think we're going to win. I've still got this game as a loss. But out of all the losses, this is one where I could be like, all right, no one's expecting it. Everyone's going to think that, including the Chiefs, are going to think they're just going to beat up on the silver and black like they always do.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come up and show up in a completely different way because we know it, they know it, and Pete Carroll damn knows it. The only way we are going to get out of our division successfully is by beating the goddamn Chiefs. They ever want to go back to a Super Bowl, they ever want to go do anything definitive in the division, win it or otherwise, it's going to go through Kansas City. And what better way to send a message to Kansas City that the silver and black is back than beating their asses in Arrowhead early on. Well, not early on, but in the first half of the season anyway.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think that there could be a lot of meeting, especially, Jeff, if we are coming off of 3 straight wins. Right, Michelle? If we have 3 straight wins, we might be looking at this and going, hey, and we don't know what they'll be doing by then.
Right.
They might be, historically, they've had weak points at the middle parts of the season, and then they get the shit kicked out of them and then gel at the end of the year and then make a playoff run.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of their story.
Yeah.
Think about all the 1-win games or 1-score games they had. Whether they were 11-0 and 1-score games last year, Michelle.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, even though I'm marking it as an L, that's one that I could really easily be swayed.
I think this is a one-possession game for sure.
I think so too. And I think that if it is a game like that, I love the line in the movie Predator when Arnold Schwarzenegger sees the blood on the leaf and he goes, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." And that's how I feel about this. Like, if Kansas City bleeds in this game, we can kill them. That we might actually be able to do something within this damn division and rep. And so, and especially too, that's only our second divisional game. So we're still in good, you know what I'm saying? We say we lost against the Chargers. Then now here we got this game against Casey. That actually, I mean, that could be a monster game for us heading into the bye week. Like, I'm telling you. But anyways, so I got it as a loss, but there's a lot going on with that. All right, so we go in the bye week.
What's your schedule? What is your count at the bye week?
I've got us at so that's going to be 4-3.
Okay.
I got them at 4-3.
Okay, I'm 5-2. So
we're all tracking.
Wow, look at us.
There you go.
Hey, be very responsible.
Come on.
Let's give it up for us.
Give it up for us.
I want to thank me for being me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
this could be where the wheels fall off.
Now, I gotta say, this is where it starts to go downhill.
We're rested after the bye week. We're ready to freaking make a run.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember when I said this is going to be mildly ridiculous? Well, here you go.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on.
Hold my beer. All right, Michelle. So we're taking on the Jaguars at Allegiant.
Okay, I have this as a win.
Come on.
Just because it's the Jaguars.
It's the Jaguars.
I mean, this is a win.
Yeah. I have this as a big win. I have this as a really big win, and I have I think my star of the game. I have a couple interceptions from number 0.
Oh, nice.
Little Jack Bennett action.
Yeah, trying to force it in there to Travis, which now we know that Trav is going to be, which is weird to me that they're going to put him at wide receiver and then work him in defensively. I thought and maybe I don't have I was going to say my dumb brain, but maybe I'm the smart one. The Jaguars are the ones that are idiots because they always prove that they are. Why you're not starting him defensively and then working on him into offense packages?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, I can see that for sure. Because if they are going to put him in offense, now, it might have chilled out by the time we hit to week 9, but they're going to be forcing him the ball. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Trevor forces the ball anyways.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, he's definitely going to be doing that to Trevor. So I'm with you guys. That's a W. I don't think anybody's afraid of the Jaguars. All right, now here we go. It gets interesting. So now the prime time schedule starts. And so we're going Thursday night, so short rest at Broncos. It is November 6th in the Mile High City at night, so it's going to be starting to get cold. And so what do you think, Michelle?
Well, I still have this as a win.
Of course you do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
And really just because
just because it's the Broncos.
Because I am absurd. It really is what it is. So, yeah, we're winning that game.
Deal.
I have this as a loss.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I have this as a loss. I think, I don't really have a lot of good reasons for that. I think Thursday Night Football, prime time, 8:15 against the Broncos. I don't know, man. I think Bo Nix is going to have a pretty good year and all that. I think it's going to be a tight game, a very tight game, a field goal game, but I have this as a loss.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay, good.
Respectfully.
Good.
I think Bo Nix turns into big-ass sophomore slump this year.
You think so?
I don't think he was that great last year. I think that he got bailed out on a lot of plays, and I don't see him going any better this year. I think that Bo Nix is going to be who we thought he was going to be.
Good.
Now, maybe I'll eat all the damn crow in the world if I'm completely wrong on this one. And wouldn't be the first time we've, eaten a bad opinion around here on this show. But I'm of the opinion that Bo Nix is going to turn in a stinker this year. I don't think he's going to be very good at all. I think he's going to be exposed because they're finally going to have enough. They're finally going to have enough film on him, and they're going to have so much film that not even Sean Payton can bail him out. I think that we're going to beat the damn Broncos.
Well, you've been right about Herbert, so I'm going to assume that you're
Okay,
right
thank
about
you.
Bo
Okay,
Nix. So
all right.
I'm just going to go with that.
He's a Justin Herbert. All right, so then we go Monday Night Football against the Cowboys, Michelle.
Was that the Monday Night Football game?
Dun-dun.
It almost sounded like you were going.
Well, believe it or not, I have this as a win.
Oh,
but I hate the Cowboys, so this is also just a heartfelt please. I hate them so much, so they have to win because I hate them so much.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I have this as a win too.
Okay, good.
I know I totally have this as a win. You know, I think Monday Night Football, we were the kings of Monday night at one time, and I think we're going back to form this year in that category. But you know, the Cowboys, they just, you know, they are who they are, and they're just mid. They're just going to be mid. They're going to be that, like, you know, 500 kind of team and all that. I think Dak Prescott's going to have a bad year. So if he's even around, because he's, you know, he catches the injury bug all the damn time.
It's true.
So, you know, we may see Trey Lance or whoever it is at the, you know, as the backup quarterback. But no, I have this as a win.
Okay, and I have it as a W as well, and we do agree on this one, because for a little bit different reason though. But we do agree that the team goes as Dak goes. When Dak goes, they win 12 games. They just don't win in the playoffs.
Well, that's true.
Right? But what, 3 straight years with a healthy Dak, they won 12 games. I don't think Dak is going to be back to that purely healthy form again.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to wish injury on anybody, but when you're talking about coming back from the things that he's going to be asked to come back from, and he's not getting any younger, man.
Yeah.
Like, Father Time is undefeated, and you start stacking up injuries on guys, their careers get shortened real quick. So unless, now I might change my, that's today. Now I might change my opinion if this is going to be week 11. So if by week 8 he's completely healthy and the Cowboys are playing well,
yeah, and they're 7-1 or something like that.
Then I might think totally different. You know what I mean? But in terms of like where the Cowboys are at, like right now, then absolutely, I think that that's a winnable game for us. All right, Michelle. Then we've got the Browns at Allegiant Stadium.
The Browns are in shambles. I feel like their like front office and like they just seem like they've never going to be able to get their shit together. So I have this as a win for that reason.
Nice. Okay.
I have this as a loss.
Oh, why?
Because there's just one game every year where you go, why the fuck did we lose that game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's every year, you know, whether it be, you know, what was our game like that last year? Well, most of them were like that last year. That's not a bad, yeah. But yeah, no, I think that this one is one of those games where we just drop one just for whatever reason, no reason behind it. You know, I think we stumble and we're like, what the hell? And Shador might be starting at this point. You know?
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
Can you imagine that? So, yeah, so I have this as a loss.
Even if he starts, I still think it's a win.
I think so too, Michelle. I've got this as a big W for us. I think that we can take care of the Browns. I think that
Charles Woodson's part owner of the Browns now, isn't he?
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You know, he's an Ohio kid. You know what I mean? So I get it. But, yeah, I don't love it.
No.
I hate it.
But I do have it as a win for us.
Okay.
All right, next up, then we're going, okay, so now we're going at the Chargers. Now it's going to be a home game for us because we're in L.A.
Let's go.
And for that reason, I have this as a W.
Yeah.
And for that reason. So
yeah. No, I think this is a big win for us. I think here. So we go in. I have them sweeping the Chargers. I'm telling you, man, Harbaugh's afraid of freaking Pete Carroll. So yeah, I have this as a big win as well.
All right. Okay. So next up, let's see. So I've got. I don't think that we're going to get swept by the Chargers, and I think that's just, again, it's a home game for us. So I don't see any world where we're going to lose that one. I think Raider Nation is. Have we? Am I saying this right? Have we still never won in LA? Or wait, did we beat the Rams and there's something to that. Have we never won in SoFi? Or we did one time, but it wasn't against the Chargers? Somebody fact check me on that. Somebody in the chat will know that. There's something to that.
Okay.
That I think it's only been the one game maybe. No, because the Rams beat the snot out of us. So maybe we've only
Did
won.
the Rams beat the snot out of us, or did we lost last second to Baker Mayfield against the Rams?
I was going to say, wasn't that Baker?
That was that one. Yeah. Okay. But still, we lost that game. So I don't think so. I feel like maybe there's only been one. Anyways, fact check me in there. I think this is the one that we're going to get. So we go ahead and beat the Chargers.
Everyone says it's time for the love seat.
Oh my gosh, now these cameras going out. This is insane. So all right, so so we got to win against the Chargers. All right, now we go Broncos at home, Michelle.
Well, I have this as a W2, and I know now I have us sweeping the Chargers and the Broncos, and I'm not sorry for that. I do believe that we will do that. So that's a W.
There you go. Yeah, I have this as a W as well. I think, we kind of have our little revenge game from just a few weeks prior where we come in at home and, and Bo Nix could be shitting the bed at this point. And so, yeah, I have this as a dub.
Yep, I got it too. I think that we're going to sweep the Broncos. And wow, I've only got us at now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, winning 6 straight going at Philadelphia, Michelle.
Yeah, I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm 6 straight wins too, but Philadelphia, we lose that game. So I mean there really needs no explanation there. We lose it.
Yeah, we're losing to the champs. Yeah, I think so. I think I think Saquon is going to have another monster year as well. I think it's going to be kind of a duel. It's going to be fun to watch Saquon versus Genty.
Oh yeah,
I think that's going to be a really fun game. But I think Saquon's gonna definitely take that one over. It's another East Coast game. It's in December. It's gonna be cold as shit. So it's gonna be that's gonna be another one. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I got that as a loss too. Then we're going at the Texans, Michelle.
Actually,
see what the Texans are going to do.
I have that one as a loss too.
You
So
do
2 losses in a row for that. Yeah, and I don't know. I think I was just feeling like, wow, we can't win every single game after the bye week, so I chose that one to lose.
Okay. Well, I have this as a win. I have this as a win. I think Raider Nation is going to show up big down in Houston. Our buddy Houston Raider Steve. He'll be at the game.
Oh yeah.
But I think Raider Nation is definitely going to be loud and proud at that one. And yeah, I think we're going to win that game.
Okay, so I've got it as well. I think that's a win for us. And then we've got the Giants at home, Michelle, at Allegiant.
Okay, yeah, we win that game. It's the Giants, so it doesn't need explanation either. We win that game.
Yeah, I think we win that game too. I think it's a little bit close because I think Jackson Dart might have he'll be starting at this point. I think I don't think Russell Wilson is that guy anymore, and I think he'll be replaced probably at the bye week or whatever with Jackson Dart. So yeah, I have this as a close win, but a win for sure.
Wait, who's there? Who'd you say their quarterback was?
Jackson Dart. They drafted him.
They
drafted him. They traded back up and got him in the first round. So, but their quarterback room is crazy because they've got Russell Wilson.
Oh, that's right.
And they have Jameis Winston.
Oh, wait. He's with the Giants.
He's with the Giants too. Yeah. So
Okay.
So they've got a 3-headed quarterback in that room right now, and I think that I think Jackson Dart will be the guy coming in at the end of the season right there. So that's where I'm at. Murph, what say you?
I say that we've swapped cameras now. Now I'm under your camera. And
now I'm dead?
And now you're dead. Yeah. So,
okay. Good. It's
good.
Murph's fan cave.
It just works out real well. Oh, yeah. So I'll just see if I can flip it back and forth between us as we're talking.
Oh, that'd be fun.
All right. So Giants. So then next up, was going to go. I've got it as a win as well. And then I've got us losing to the Chiefs at the last game of the season in Allegiant. The Chiefs are going to be revved up. They're going to be playing for, playoff seeding. Obviously they maybe have the division locked up. I don't see us beating the Chiefs in the last game of the year. So I've got that. So the Giants is a W and then an L there against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, I have that as a W, which means that I was a little more level-headed, and I've gone 13-4 instead of 14-3. So
okay.
It's a little better than I did last season.
Okay. All right. Well, I have that Chiefs game as a win too. And it could be one of two things. If Mahomes is playing and this means something, I think that this is definitely going to be a win for the Raiders. But if the Chiefs have just run away with the division and they got nothing to play for, this is our game where we just beat the ever-loving shit out of Gardner Minshew.
Oh, forgot about that.
Yeah, because Gardner Minshew is now the backup quarterback down there in Kansas City. And so I want the Raiders to be, fighting for the division and all that kind of stuff. But if the cards fall the way that they do and the Chiefs run away with the division for the 10th time, I would love to see the Raiders beat up Gardner Minshew.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so let's add them up. All right, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Ooh.
Mr.
Wait, what are you?
Mr. Level-Headed has got them at 12-5.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn it. I said I was never going to do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Ford said, Michelle, at the end of the season, you have to prove it to me before I think you're going to win. Now, 13-4.
There you go. There you go.
So 12-5 and 13-4. And what do you got, Jeff?
I've got them at 11-6.
Oh. Give it up for Swag Jeff.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real.
Jeff's over there playing Price is Right. Closest to the actual total without going on.
So if we're 1-16, then I win.
You're gonna win.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Wow,
Let's go.
we all... Jeez.
Mark Barris has got him going 10-7. A lot of 10-7s. Storm's got him at 7-10. Jordan Ford's got him at 7-10. Yeah, I think that seems to be the consensus, either 10-7 or 7-10.
Which, yeah, 7-10 is probably right.
No,
Nah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I
think if anything, we at least we can't break even, right? It has to go one way because there's odd
can't
numbers.
be,
17 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
See,
don't.
that's
7-10 is.
Lakeshore Raiders got him at 6-11.
Oh my goodness!
Which I mean,
My heart.
But Raider Lorian's got him at 11-6, like me.
there you go. Well, 11-6 is the new 10-6.
It is. You can always find a way to get them there.
Always a way to get them there. Every
Yep.
fan does it. Every schedule prediction. Back in the old days, everybody had them at 10-6, and now the new 10-6 is 11-6. See, but and I think that well, it's my 12-5 is ambitious. I will admit that. It's 10 wins is where you got to get to now to be in the wild card hunt. In the NFC might be a little bit different. But you got to be in that range. You got to get there if you think that you're going to make a wild card run. And I think the Raiders are going to be good enough to make a wild card run. And why? Because I think that we're going to have the ability to run the football. We're going to have the ability to play defense. They're going to be coached very responsibly. The things that you have to do to win late in the season, I think the Raiders are going to be able to do. Now, are they going to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game winning streak in there like I've got them? Highly unlikely. But if there's anybody that's going to be able to do it in the style that they're going to play football this year, I think that it's got potential to it.
Yeah,
you know?
I think the difference maker in this is going to be the leadership. Not that last year's leadership was not capable, but last season felt like a kind of a hope and a prayer. And these are people who have been there and done that and understand what it takes for the longevity of the season.
Come
and
on.
like, I think I really do believe that it's different.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. I totally
difference
agree.
A few months make because
Oh my
I was
gosh.
done a few
Yeah.
months ago. I'm not no one's winning until I see them win it now. But it's different. Feels different.
It does feel different. It does feel different. Well, with the adults in the room, and you got Pete Carroll, who is setting the tone culturally. Setting the tone culturally, but I think we're about to see how important it is to have a quarterback and a head coach that are on the same freaking page. We haven't had that in how long?
Gruden and Carr.
There you go.
I'd say that's it.
There you go. And what happened then? We made the playoffs. You know, Gruden
That's
got
true.
we
Yeah.
made a run. We made a run.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the freaking emails and the Ruggs incident and all that, that team probably would have been better than just to make the playoffs
Yeah,
kind of
could
team.
have been fighting for the division.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
What, we were 5-2 when all the Gruden shit happened,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
so
totally.
I mean, yeah, so I think I'm with you, Jeff. That's an interesting point, man. Because and you know what's interesting too is that it's not coach and QB on the same page early. These guys have been doing it for what?
They're already there.
3 years now.
They're there.
They're there. So it's not like they're just like like Bo Nix and Peyton, you could say, well, okay, yeah, well, they're on the same page. Well, they did it for 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Or now this is what? Because he was Geno in Seattle for 3 years?
3 or 4.
Right? And so now we're headed into 4 years at least of this.
Yeah.
So that's a great point, Jeff. Great point.
I know.
I know, he says.
I know, I said it.
All right, chat room. Now we're going to look for your offensive and defensive MVPs. Now, offensive rookie of the year, that's easy enough. That's going to be freaking Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
So let's go defensive rookie of the year.
Defensive rookie?
Yeah, for the Raiders. Not rookie of the year. Defensive rookie for the Raiders. And then let's do offensive MVP, so your overall offense, and then your overall defense. I'll go. You want to go first, Michelle?
No, because I'm going to be honest. You're going to have to remind me who's the rookie, defensive rookie.
You got Tonka Hemingway. You've got the defensive lineman. You've got J.J. Pegues, the defensive lineman. You've got, what's our guy out of Iowa State, the cornerback?
Porter.
Thank you. Darian Porter, cornerback. I think that would be my pick. I think that Darian Porter, although he only played that 1 year of corner in college, Michelle, after transitioning over from being a wide receiver, size, speed, length, Al Davis dream.
Well, I love a corner. So to cheat off your paper, and I'm going to say him.
There you go. Okay.
No, that's who I got
Porter.
too.
Is that you got too? Darian Porter? Okay. So there's our defensive rookie. Offensive is going to be Ashton Genty. All right, Michelle. So who's your offensive MVP for the Raiders?
I think it's going to be Brock Bowers.
I
just really think he's going to eat this season.
Yeah,
Brock Bowers.
absolutely. Who do you got?
Well, just in the spirit of conversation, I would say Brock Bowers too, but just to add an also in there, I think Ashton Genty is going to go bananas. I think he's going to go bonkers in this freaking offense. I think that, I saw today somebody said, I asked ChatGPT to tell me what the offensive output was going to be for the Raiders this year, and it had Ashton Genty at 1,500 yards. That's rushing.
Oh.
I had him at 1,600 all-purpose.
Oh.
And here's AI out here saying he's going to run for 1,500 yards. But that's the kind of expectation. Yeah, that's the kind of expectation that we're going to have for this guy. So I think he's going to go nuts in this freaking offense. And so it wouldn't surprise me if he is right there 1 and 1A with Brock as the most important parts of our offense.
Yeah. I've got, I went a little different direction here because I think that Ashton Genty is going to be a monster. Brock Bowers is going to be a monster. I think Cobes is going to have a really good year.
I agree.
Jack Besh is going to have a really good year. We're going to see all these things, but who is going to benefit the most from that? I always say who's going to benefit the most from the other weapons that are around him? It's Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Geno Smith is my offensive MVP of
nice,
this season.
Dude. I like it.
Good.
I like it.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. And you know what? I'd love that, like, you mentioned Jack Besh. I know he's a wide receiver, but he's a former tight end. Like,
dude.
He's a very physical wide receiver. And I think that what we were wanting, like, Michael Mayer and Brock to be, our version of Gronk and Hernandez, right? I think that Jack Besh might be more
Come on.
that guy. Because did you see Michael Mayer's beefed up?
Has he?
Oh,
Has
my
he?
gosh.
Oh.
Yeah, he's yoked. Like, Michael Mayer's thick. Like
muscular. Yoked.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And so that tells me he's going to lean a lot more into the pass blocking game. And I think that Besh, although he's not going to line up on the line of scrimmage or all that kind of stuff, but you remember, like, with Gronk and Hernandez, he used to split those guys out and put them in
slot.
Put them in slots. And all that.
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of stuff we're going to see out of Jack Besh. And you're right. And then so who benefits from that? Freaking the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, one Geno Smith. So I'm with you on there. All right, defensive MVP, Michelle.
I mean, it would be easy to say Max Crosby.
Sure.
But one that I'm really excited to see, I don't know if he'll be MVP, but I want to see Malcolm Kuntz. I want to see what he does this season just because we haven't really got to see it. So I don't know if he's would be MVP, but he's one I'm excited to see.
Absolutely.
Because I think Max Crosby is like the
kind of like the go-to
choice.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. You know, it's funny. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that it's Max until it's not.
Yeah.
But being that we saw Malcolm Kuntz finish so strong at the end of that year, what do you have? 5 sacks in like 4 games or whatever the hell it was. Like, I mean, dude was really coming on, and then he got hurt in the preseason. So as long as the injury isn't going to prevent, because sometimes it takes a year to come back from a significant injury like that. Even though you're playing, you're not quite back to form for another year. But the way that the advances has happened in medical, these guys are coming back faster and faster and faster. So it very well could be that we could see, quote, vintage Malcolm Kuntz. And if we do, Michelle, yeah, I'm with you that he could be another one on this line. He could be freaking crushing it over there on the opposite side of Max, because even if, and I hope we get Wilkins back, and I mean, we really need him.
Yeah, he's back in a boot, right?
He's back in a boot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so even if we don't get him back, the players that we've added to that defensive line, those guys that we were just talking about, add the defensive line to go along with Adam Butler, that's going to be enough to suck up blocks to get Malcolm Kuntz some one-on-ones. And if he gets one-on-ones, he's going to eat in that freaking defense. So I'm with you. I think that could be a good one.
Yeah, I've got. I went a little different. I went on the secondary. I think my defensive MVP is going to be Jacorian Bennett.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I think he's really going to finally break out. He was in Jack Jones' shadow a little bit last year as kind of the number 2.
Yeah.
He struggled his rookie season. He came along last year, and we saw some flashes. We saw some things. I think he's going to step out and be the true number 1 corner this year. Even if we sign somebody close, if we go out and do something silly like trade for Jalen Ramsey or something like that, I still think Jacorian Bennett is going to shine this season. I see 6 interceptions, take 2 to the house kind of thing.
Man, let's go.
Dude.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, you know what I love about this secondary? Like, there's a theme around this team. Obviously, that's, as they say it all the time, it's that whole compete thing, right? And you're going to have competition at multiple positions. But my favorite camp battle, there's 2 of them, is on the offensive line, because it's going to be interesting to see what Charles Grant and Caleb Rogers can do, because we know we've got to fill a spot interior guard. But then to see Grant, Spytek said day one, he's putting him out there to compete with DJ Glaze. He's like, we're not going to work him in slow. He's like, he's going out there day one. So I'm looking forward to watching those kind of camp battles unfold and watching those guys compete, that iron sharpen iron. But even more than that, secondary. We've got so many big now corners and secondary players. I think it's going to be kind of Jeremy Chin and Isaiah Polamau is going to kind of be your 2 starting safeties. But as far as corners go, Darian Porter, Jack Bennett, Eric Stokes, like it's all these guys that we brought in, and Mello Dotson, like there's all these guys in there competing. We have like 6 corners that are going to be competing for 2 positions, man.
Yeah.
Not even mentioned like Sam Webb is still bumping around. Like it's going to
Decamerion Richardson.
Thank you, Decamerion Richardson, who just like Jacorian Bennett showed some signs in year 1, but we all know that corners make their bigger jumps in year 2 and year 3.
Yes.
So he could be a starter. Like, who knows where this thing can go, man. I think it's going to be all over the place, and I'm excited for it because I like it because they all have size.
Yeah.
For the most part. If any of them are, quote, undersized, it's 5'10" Jacorian Bennett. And that ain't little.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like what Amico had to deal with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's great, man. I mean, big, fast corners, big, fast safeties. Like, these are Al Davis dreams that we have out here in the secondary. So I could totally see the secondary doing something and Jacorian Bennett being one of the stars of it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the biggest battles I'm looking for this offseason is, speaking of folks that Al Davis would love, is the wide receiver battle.
Come on, talk about
wide
Thornton.
receivers. Yeah, because you got done. So okay, so you got Jacoby Myers, you got Jack Besh, you got Trey Tucker, who's still bumping around.
Yeah.
You got Dante Thornton. You've got Tommy Mellett. And who am I missing?
Dante Thornton.
No, I said Dante
Oh,
Thornton.
you did?
Yeah.
I feel like there was one more.
No, that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, those might be your. I'm assuming
DJ
those will be your
Turner's
5.
gone. Like,
Turner's
right?
gone.
Yeah. So I think that's it.
I guess that'll be your 5.
Yeah, probably.
That's a good 5.
I think so too.
It's a good
And
one.
I love the Tommy Mellett thing, man.
Bro.
That's going to be so much fun watching that
Gonna
guy
be fun.
do. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Raider Lorian asked about Tyree Wilson. I forgot he was even on the team. Like,
This is going to be his prove it year.
yeah.
He's got to get it done this year. Yeah, I mean,
He said, so when will the Raiders decide that he's not it? Will he be a trade candidate shortly after the bye?
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how healthy Malcolm Kuntz is.
Yeah.
You know, because we might need Tyree Wilson to play defensive end. It might be a necessity to have him. He might be our most experienced guy.
Yeah.
You know, to put out there because Clavian Chason's gone now, right? So
Yep.
That's right.
So we might need Tyree, and you know, it's funny. It feels like I'm not comparing the player, so save me the emails, but It really.
You get emails?
Oh, well, I get
No,
comments.
just tweet him on X.
Yeah, well, that's
just,
where it'll,
just
that's
X
what'll
him
happen.
or
All right.
whatever the hell they're
Yeah,
called.
save me the tweets. So I'm not comparing the players, but I feel like career trajectory in terms of performance on the field, this feels very Cleveland Ferrell. Not the same player.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing the player because they're much different players.
But the output.
The output is very, very similar. And where people say like, oh, you look at Cleveland Ferrell, well, he's a pretty good edge run defender, and he's pretty good. Okay, that's not what you drafted him for.
You definitely didn't draft him 4th overall for that.
We drafted him to be a dominant pass rusher and to go get the damn quarterback. That's what we drafted him for. So Tyree Wilson might end up being a decent defensive end and be able to play decent against the run game and get the occasional sack and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's fine, but that's not why we drafted him in the first round.
Yeah.
We drafted your ass in the first round to go get the damn quarterback. So
Where'd we draft
see.
him? At 7?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember. It was in the top 10. Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah. So so let's go get the quarterback, Tyree. If that's the case, look, if Malcolm is still battling through that injury and we do need him, come on, man, do it. Like this. I mean, he ain't gonna be a Raider. He'll end up going somewhere else and signing an inexpensive contract and probably still play for, another handful of years in the league, just like Cleveland does. But he ain't gonna be, get paid like a prominent edge rusher. It ain't gonna happen. So, anyways, but I'm rooting for him. I think we all are.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, So, and I'm not a fan of calling players busts. Not until they're done.
Yeah.
Like, get to the end of your career, then I think the only one that I ever remember feeling like, okay, this is it, this is dumb, this is a bust, was Jamarcus.
Oh god.
It was like there was like at one point during the season, I was like, all right, enough of this guy. Like that's like no, like we're good. Like no, this is not going. You could just see it was not going to ever work.
Sure.
And so, but aside from that, I don't ever want to pin bust on a player. It just feels like, like let these guys, let them have a 5, 6, 8 year career, you know what I mean? Or more. And then we'll look back on it and call them a quote bust. Now, does that mean that they should have been drafted where they were drafted? Absolutely not. So, you know what I mean? But you can.
But that's not their fault.
It's not their fault. Exactly. Like in Cleveland Ferrell, if he was drafted in the 3rd round, would anybody be bitching?
Right.
If Tyree Wilson was drafted in the 3rd round, would anybody be bitching? No, it'd be fitting expectation. So because the expectation is so high because of where they were picked, well, doesn't make him a bust. Just makes him not worthy of a 1st round pick.
Right.
So,
But with Tyree Wilson, at one point he was projected to be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft.
yeah, he was a badass.
Like
dude.
he was a badass before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Like he was a freaking boss, dude. So hopefully he can have a mediocre season, come back. Another one to look out for. Don't forget Ja Joyner. That UDFA that we signed out of Minnesota, defensive end, man.
Guy.
I like that guy, man. He's faster than Max Crosby. On the 40 time, had 14 and a half career sacks at Minnesota, 6'5", 265. That dude can watch him mess around and make the team, man.
Yeah. That'd be a good one.
That'd be a good one.
All right, Raider Nation, let us know what your predictions are. Can't read the chat as we're doing the show, but I always love to go back and read through to see what you all have to say, and appreciate you joining us for our mildly ridiculous yet optimistic schedule prediction show. But enough of us and more of them, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that. So let's jump into the Sea of Fans mailbag. This is where we get to hear from you guys.
There he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's caught, he throws. It is.
All right, appreciate you, Raider Nation. Appreciate everybody that is joining us live in the chat room tonight. Appreciate Paul, Raider27, Ron the Mater Raider, Raider Lorian, Storm is in there, Chuck Raider is in there, Jordan Ford, the Jesus of Alum Rock is in there, Yoshi is in there, Mark Barris is in there. We appreciate all of you so very, very much. YO is in there. Appreciate you, Foxy Scorpio, for supporting the show, supporting Raiders Fan Radio. All right, this is where we get to hear from you guys, because as I said, more of you and less of us is a good thing. So you can contact the show a multitude of ways. You can start off by jumping into that chat room at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio each and every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, or you can call the show. You can call the show at 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Michelle never. I can never get Michelle on that one.
No.
Or you can email the show at show. That is SHOW at RaidersFanRadio.com. Send us an email in an indefinite amount of times, and we will make you the next made man or made maiden. Or if we play your voicemail 3 or more times on the show, you can become a made man or made maiden that way. And so Michelle has the honor of reading your emails. And Michelle, who do we have tonight?
Okay, so first we have Trinidad, and if there could not have been a more perfect time for this email to come through. So he says, this is why I'm a fan of the show. I love the endless hope. I have family that teaches second grade, and they ask the kids at the start of most days, how are you feeling, to get a gauge on how the day will go. Most of them say their bucket is full, and some will say their bucket is empty. The bucket represents their spirit, their general mood. I don't know if it's because of the 4 wins from last year, but recently my bucket was a little low. Then I listened to the show. And so this is a reference from episode 371. So how many episodes ago was that?
2.
Okay. Murf, like you, Michelle, it does feel different this time. Michelle says, it does. It really does. And then, where's my clown nose? Because it does feel different. It just making calculated moves, trading back, getting more draft picks. Those kinds of things aren't flashy. They're not fun. I keep going. Talking about how it does feel different. Murph says, yeah. Then Swag says, yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think it's really going to be different. That was 2 shows ago.
Okay.
Where we said that. So he says, because it is going to be different. It's going to be different this time. Your friend of the show, Trinidad from California.
There you go, Trin.
That's so true. That's so sad because that's me every day.
Absolutely.
Okay, next we have Martin.
Morning,
guys. I was already pretty excited at the way this team has developed and expanded, but hearing some of our new young bucks speak earlier took that excitement up a notch. Well-prepared, articulate grown men, whether they talk a lot like Beck or not so much like Genty, all very inspiring. Now let's see them take this energy onto the minicamp turf as they fight to show they're worthy of a roster spot. I'm not sure I've been this ready to get a season started in decades. Shout out to the chat, the One Nation Foundation, and go Raiders.
There you go, Martin.
And then we have Paul. Welcome back. I hope you're all well. Since we were last together, there have been a few stories and happenings in Raiderland to discuss. Firstly, the Josh Jacobs interview on Bussin' with the Boys. I'm a huge Jacobs fan and wanted him to stay, so to hear the way he was treated stings a little. I was always taught to treat people the way you would like to be treated by others. Clearly, this wasn't the case with Jacobs, and some of the details that came out during the interview prove even more that McDaniels is a worthless, classless individual, but I'll come back to him later. Another point I agree with Jacobs on was the team shouldn't have danced on the Chiefs logo at Arrowhead, acting like Billy Big Balls unless they could go back it up or drive around the stadium in a lap of honor. Where was that kind of spirit when the Chiefs came to Vegas and did the ring around the rosy shit? Nobody wanted to be a Raider then, did they? The interview was excellent, and huge credit goes to Taylor and Will. I'd love them to do a watch-along of our Titans and Raiders game on the bus on October 12th. It would be hilarious. Maybe the 2 shows could join up for the day. We also had the news that Derek Carr was retiring, and within seconds on social media, the division in Raider Nation blew up again, and it got very bitter.
Did.
Gosh, it did. As I said on Twitter, I don't care about his strengths and weaknesses anymore. He was a Raider for 9 years, and now he should be given the chance to retire as one. Sign him to a 1-day contract, let the guy light the torch, then move on. I'll let others bicker over pointless arguments and act like 6-year-olds on a playground. I've never known a more exhausting player situation in any sport. And finally, we had the new season schedule release. I don't really care who we play or win. If we're good enough to compete, it shouldn't matter. Let them worry about us for a change. In saying that week 1 at the Patriots has got me fired up already, the thought of beating that fat-faced shit nugget McWeenie is really exciting. This nasty little rat only has a career because of Tom Brady, and nobody will convince me otherwise. He's a fraud, and he steals a living. Having witnessed his brand of shit firsthand, I can't wait for Max, JPJ, and the gang to slap that smug grin off of his face.
Come on.
I know you don't like to use the term hate, but I love it. It's a sport of all to itself for me. And every time I see an image of McDaniels grinning, it makes me want to punch a hole in a wall. He almost matches Philip Bionic Hips Rivers on my hate scale. So on we go, everybody. The post-June 1st cuts will happen soon then. We'll only a matter of weeks away from training camp. I need football. Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi. Paulie Award winner 2019-2022. Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020. Made Man of the Year 2024. BRT Sizzler Scorekeeper, Proud Made Man.
Five time.
Times 4 plus 4. Winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
Good boy, Paul.
There you go, Paul.
Paul, your name Paul? Hello? Paul.
I met him with Paul. Who? Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
Darn right you are. Appreciate you, Paul. Appreciate you very, very much, and everybody that sent in emails tonight. And so let's talk about this real quick. Because we haven't addressed it yet here on the show. And let's keep it brief. I don't want to get in the weeds on it totally. But I think it would be remiss if we didn't bring up Derek retiring. And boy, Paul hit it on the head as soon as that happened. It was like, a couple of posts here and there, and then all of a sudden everything just went absolutely ape shit.
Yeah.
Between Raider fans. And, I think that after now looking back on his career, so I think there's a couple things to say here, is that number one, well, now he's not in a Saints uniform anymore. Now it's once a Raider, always a Raider applies. That's that our position was always like, well, as long as you're playing in the NFL and you're wearing another team's uniform, that once a Raider shit doesn't fit yet. Well, now it's different. So now, just much like Kenny Stabler wore an Oiler uniform and was a Saint as well, but he's a Raider, right, to us, right? And I think that Derek Carr very much fits that he will be always known as a Raider, as he should be, and to be respected for that idea that he carried the mantle for the Raiders for 9 years. All that said, too, it doesn't mean that I got to love everything the guy ever did. I'm not going to deify him. He's not going to be my favorite player. And if he's your favorite player, then knock yourself out. And I thought that he was wonderful at times, and I thought he was a bucket of ass at times, too. And I thought that he was a bucket of ass at some times when it counted most. And great players aren't always great, but they're always great when they have to be. And when Derek had to be great, he wasn't. And save me all the fourth quarter comebacks and all your fucking stats and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, there was not a lot of greatness when it came to Derek Carr. There was a lot of goodness, a lot of what could have been, but there wasn't a level of greatness. So I'm not going to revere him in the same light that we revere Darryl Lamonica and we revere Kenny Stabler and we revere those guys. It's not going to happen. Doesn't mean I don't think he was a great quarterback and representative of the Raiders. That doesn't mean that at all. And when he comes to Allegiant Stadium and lights the torch, I will stand up and give that man a standing ovation with everything I'm worth because I'm a fan of what he was until I wasn't. So and I think that you can have that very balanced mindset around the guy. It doesn't have to be this polarizing black or white, on or off thing. Like I always use the Star Wars reference, only Sith deal in absolutes, Michelle. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah, I think once a Raider, always a Raider. That's the phrase. It's not once a Raider, always a Raider, as long as you were great when you should have been great, or as long as you were this when you should have been that. Like, there are a lot of Raiders players out there that were not great, but they were Raiders, and that's the bottom line. Like, that's where it ends. So, yeah, I think he was some sort of weird glue for a lot of seasons for the Raiders. Like, and I think that's why so many people have just held on to him so tight, because there was a long run where he was like the face. He was always there. Head coaches were turning over. Offensive coordinators were turning over. Things were always turning over, and he was like the constant. So I think a lot of people grew up with Derek Carr as like that, some sort of weird glue that held the family together, so they're holding tight to that. And I think he absolutely should retire Raider, and he deserves that. And who gives a shit about what he did or didn't do? He was a Raider, and he loved being a Raider.
He did.
He loved being a Raider.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Who cares what he did or didn't do? He was a Raider.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, say what you will about his stats and his wins and losses and all that kind of stuff, but Derek Carr bled silver and black more than most. I'll say that. The great Raiders of the 70s and 80s, they bled silver and black. They bled for Al Davis. They bled for John Madden. They bled for Tom Flores. All that stuff. There's no question there. But as far as the current adaptation of the Raiders, Derek Carr was as close to those guys as you could get. like you said, he was the constant. He was the guy, for these younger Raider fans growing up, like you said, that was their guy. That was, when I was a kid, if I was a Raider fan the entire time, he would have been like my Gannon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or your Timmy Brown.
Or Timmy Brown or somebody like that.
The guy that's just a stalwart there every year. Doesn't matter how good or bad the team is.
100%.
A constant that's always there.
100%. But he was, he was the guy for a really long time. And so, I thank him for that. And I can't thank him enough for that because, in a time of turmoil in Raider Nation and in a time of losing in Raider Nation, he was the guy that, say what you will about him. He gave us hope.
Yeah.
He gave us hope. He didn't give us wins, but he gave us hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can't begrudge a man for that. And I do hope that the Raiders bring him in, sign him to a one-day contract, let him retire a Raider, bring him back week 2 against the Chargers to come and light the torch, do his thing, and then we all move on.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be that soon.
No.
You don't think it'll be that soon?
Hell no. I don't think it'll be that soon. Nope. I don't think it'll be that soon.
I think it's going to be sooner than you think.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
Someone said that the Raiders didn't even recognize his retirement on social media. Was that typical?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? And I disagree with a lot of fans. And of course, I'm of a different generation.
Yeah.
But I disagree with a lot of fans in terms of like the social media representation for a player or not for a player. Like, oh, this was disrespectful, or they should have done this for Josh Jacobs, or they should have done this for Derek Carr. They don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
They're the Raiders. The Raiders are the Raiders. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be all about the Raiders. They're not, when a Saints player retires, they're not going to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's for a different time.
Yeah.
It's not for the immediate time. Again, I'm a different.
You are, because social media is the way. Like, I mean, and you're not really that different because you love X. So you do love social media. And I don't know. It just feels like, especially, I don't know.
I just don't feel like the team owes him anything.
No, well, I don't think they owe him anything.
That's what I'm saying.
I just think, I don't know. I don't care either way. Honestly, I just saw someone said, I didn't even notice because I don't really pay a lot of attention to that. But I don't know if that's something that teams do. So I don't know.
And maybe, and like I said, we don't know what the plan is. Maybe if there is a situation where, I mean, I still don't see him doing a press conference in front of a Raider banner, like announcing his retirement from the NFL. I don't think he's the kind of guy to gloss him that way anyways.
Right. Yeah.
To go up and just be like, oh, it's the Derek Carr press conference and here's my retirement thing. I think he's just kind of done. Yeah. And so I think that there will be a time for the Raiders to honor him. I just don't expect it right away. We got too much other shit going on right now that's Raider related. We got to get this Raiders thing figured out first before we start worrying about what we're doing about our quarterback who was for 9 years. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I wouldn't expect it to be anything major or anything big. Like, I wouldn't even expect it to be a press conference. Like, not like you said.
But that's a lot of times when you do have players come back. Like, that's why they do it, though, is because the quote, sign the contract or whatever. Right. That way they can go back to that facility, go in, and then have something formal in front of that audience and those reporters and all that. So I don't think that's going to happen with Derek, but I think that it's going to be a torch thing. And I don't think it's going to be even this year. Maybe towards the end of the year or something like that. But I don't think it's going to be that fast. Like I said, I think they're focused on other things. Yeah. The greatness of the Raiders is in its future.
Well, you're right about that.
They're going to look forward. They're not going to look to the past. Maybe this upcoming offseason, after this year, then maybe something like that. We might see something like that.
It seems like the offseason would be the time to do something like that.
That's the time to do it.
Like during the
And it was so late in this offseason that it's like, we're almost, I mean, shit, we're going to be on top of we're already at OTAs right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're already at OTAs, so they're not going to divert any attention away from that, So, anyways. Yeah. All right, good stuff there. So, I can't wait to go back and read what the chat room's got to say, because I know it's a polarizing, to start talking about this guy. Yeah, it goes one of two ways, man. Wild. It does. I've never, in my whole entire life, and I've had people ask me this on X and stuff, like, Murf, you're the old guy in the room. Do you ever remember any, like, a polarizing player to this level? The answer to that question is no. No. The answer to that question is no. I would say not even close, because people always have different opinions about things and players and whatnot. But not to have the vigor behind it to opinion where you can't just look at somebody else and go, well, okay, I hear you. I don't agree, but that's fair enough. right? Like
Yeah.
that's a typical
Them's
way that
fighting words.
they will go 10 toes down for Derek Carr or the opposite way.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me, man. I don't get it. And I mean, yeah.
No, it is. It's
yeah, it's
crazy.
just it's nuts. It's nuts. So anyways, all right, let's go. What were we doing? Oh yeah, voicemails.
Voicemail.
Oh yeah. Tell them how to call the show, Jeff, while I bring up the file here, please.
All right. Yeah. So if you call the show and leave a message 3 or more times, you become a made man or a made maiden here at Raiders Fan Radio. And that phone number, just carve it into your dashboard as you're driving down the highway. It is 909-345-3346. That is 909-345-3346. So yeah, do that.
Do that.
Call us. We want to hear from you, Raider Nation.
And be like our good buddy Ernesto down in Mexico City.
There you go, Ernesto.
Hey guys, your trusted Mexico City correspondent. Very happy to call because of 2 things. The first one, I'm listening to the last episode, and I just found out that Michelle's dad is Mexican. So that's why I felt the connection. That's why she has that fire in her. And I think that's pretty cool. It's Mexican blood there.
That's right.
Hey, you should have a 12.5% connection to me, Ernesto. Michelle's not the only Mexican up here.
Sorry.
I may look like a
50 or
lily white
more,
guy,
50
but
or more. That's
The second thing is, I'm very happy about the draft. I knew we couldn't pass on Genti, but I also admire the way we're doing the things, all the things now. We traded for some extra picks. We're going to have a full house during the training camp. It's going to be hard to cut to 53, but if you have more options, you will have better options. Competition would be fierce. I'm totally convinced that that's the mentality that Carl is going to implement, competition above all, and I'm pretty curious to see if we can build a new defense that could be compared to the Legion of Boom. What do you guys think about that? Should we be finding a new name already to name our very special defense? I really hope so. We have a legendary name for them, and they deliver on that high expectation. That's all, guys. I'm excited to see what the off-season keeps getting us. And let's see our schedule on May and start developing our predictions when that comes around. Have a good one, guys, and go Raiders.
Hey, good job, Ernesto.
Yeah, now what is there to look forward to? We got the schedule. Now what? Now we got to wait.
Now we got to wait. Now we enter the dark times.
We do.
It's so
it's
dark.
the dark times.
Obvious of the off season.
It is.
They were showing a pillow fight competition on ESPN or some
gosh.
random shit.
Were they really?
Well, they're doing it's Day of the Ocho. And because you know how in the movie Dodgeball, how they had the Ocho? Well, they take an entire day and they call it the Ocho, and they do those sports. So I've seen air guitar.
That's like, what else is there to watch?
There's one's called Slippery Steps, where they put like soap all over steps, and people try to run up the steps and they fall. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
No kidding.
Wiffle ball.
How fun
That's
is
how bad
that?
it is. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, darts, dodgeball, like all that stuff, man. The Ocho days are a blast.
That's hilarious.
But I'm with you. That's no NFL.
Yeah.
But to answer his question on there, what do we think about Pete building his new version of the Legion of Boom? Absolutely. When you look at the size and physicality of that secondary, like we talked about earlier tonight, 100%. Now, Pete is not necessarily a cornerback whisperer. Doesn't mean that everybody he's ever brought in has always turned into a superstar, but he's hit on more times than he's missed. And so with this new influx of talent, Ernesto, I agree, man.
Yeah. Look for, I think, I know the size is a little bit different, but look for Isaiah Polamau to be the next Cam Chancellor. The hard hitting, going to force the ball out, all that kind of stuff. But let's not name him yet.
Or is he more the Earl Thomas and Jeremy Chin is more your Cam Chancellor?
Either way. Either way,
yeah,
I'm all about it. I'm all
No,
about it for sure.
absolutely.
So, but let's not name it yet.
Yeah,
let's see it in action.
Yes,
let's see it in action. And if whatever the Legion
name
of
will
Black
come to
or
us.
what or whatever it is, like, you know, I'm sure that won't be the name.
It's probably not a good one
It
to go
didn't
with.
land. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, you know what? We'll workshop that.
We'll workshop that one.
Yeah, but whatever it is.
There was somebody the other day on Twitter, and they were talking about, like, this is the
That's so stupid.
Yes, you are. Reed Blankenship ain't that secondary, Jeff. You're gonna get us canceled.
My bad.
Oh.
No disrespect.
But somebody was talking about the.
Keep going.
I know, I'm just digging a hole for us. No, but for real though, people were asking about, is the Legion of Boom the greatest secondary ever? And I'm like, no, the Soul Patrol. Like,
come
hands
on,
down.
dude.
Like, it ain't even close. Like, it's a Soul Patrol. Those guys were together for like 9 years, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? Like, so it's, to me, it's I don't even think that's my Raider bias showing.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, those guys were together for way longer than Richard Sherman. Was it Richard Sherman, Brandon Browner? Was that the other guy?
Yes.
On the other side. And
That's the problem. Like, the further things get away, the more people
they just
don't even think about. Like, it's not on people's radars anymore. It's sad.
It
It's
is,
sad.
Michelle, because it's like, you know, I'm like, look, there was a whole level of greatness before the iPhone existed,
Right,
dude.
exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
go back, because when was the Legion of Boom? That was what? 09 to 12 or something like that?
Yeah,
Or
Which is a long
10 to
time,
14.
10 to 14. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so anyways, and I know you got to go back to the 70s, but still,
Yeah.
it's the Super Bowl era.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care if it happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
This shit still happened.
Yeah.
You know, so anyways. All right. Next up, let's see. What do we got next? I don't know. Let's see. Here we go. Jacob in Fresno.
Hey.
Jeff, Murf, Michelle, this is Jacob from Fresno. What is up, guys? Just a bit of a somber day for those of us from Fresno. Because Derek Carr has officially retired. And I know
jeez,
we're the
here we go
Raiders.
again.
We're talking about the Raiders that are, not the Raiders that are. But he was there for 9 years. Come on, guys. Allow me to talk about him just a little bit. The guy's from my neck of the woods. He's in my backyard. I'm happy for him that he got to the NFL. He did some good things. I think he did some great things. You guys might say great is a stretch. But still, can I just tip my hat to Derek Carr?
Sure.
Real quick. The guy is
Your
a
call.
Raider. He was a Raider. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're out of time. No, I'm kidding.
Derek Carr was a Raider. That guy, once a Raider, always a Raider. Nobody showed grit and moxie like that guy. Nobody. The guy played with a broken back. A broken back. The same injury that sidelined Tony Romo. The same injury that took him out and gave Dak Prescott the job. Derek Carr fought through that and had a pretty dang good season if you look back at that. I mean, look at the Kansas City Chiefs game. Remember that game? I was there in person. One of the greatest games I've ever seen. When we beat the Kansas City Chiefs back when Alex Smith was the quarterback. We've been losing to them every single year. And Derek Carr finally got that dagger of a win. When he threw 3 touchdowns, the refs took away 2 of them, and he still got it at the end of Crabtree in the corner of the end zone. That was a great game. That was a great performance by Derek Carr, and he had a broken back. The guy just showed grit all the time. So I am compelling over here to use a mensch term. Derek Carr was a mensch. That guy was a great Raider. I'm happy for him. And you know what? I'm happy for the future of the Raiders. I'm excited about the future of the Raiders because things are looking up. We got our coach. We got a new quarterback. We got a great defense that seems to be reloading. We got our DC back. We got Ashton Genty, who's going to come in and play some great, strong, hard-nosed football. The guy is a home run hitter, too. He can go out there and just make you look silly on one run, not just a bunch of really hard ones. And our O-line is picking it up. We got wide receivers now. We got depth. We have a lot of hope. That's the thing, guys. We got a 4th-place schedule, too. We got a great roster. We got a great coaching staff. And we got a chance, guys. So get excited. Be happy about the season. Be happy about the future of the Raiders. I'm going to say it one more time. Raiders! Let's go, baby.
There you go, Jacob. He made it sound like Derek Carr was Mike Tyson. I broke my back. My back is broken. What part? Like a vertebrae? Spinal.
Now, Keith. But you know, I get it. Like,
have you seen his Dr. Squash commercial?
Oh no!
Yeah, it's like he does a thing where he's like now scrub or whatever, or something like that. Like he mean like totally, makes a joke out of it.
Such a good sense of humor.
He sure does.
Love Mike Tyson, man.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna mention something in there. For Jake, I get it. Why a guy from Fresno would take a victory lap with Derek Carr.
100%.
Absolutely.
I get that.
Understandable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you keep going there, Jacob and Fresno. Keep those calls coming. All right, next up, we've got our buddy in San Diego. He is Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Steve.
Hey, guys. It's Steve from San Diego. Just calling in. Didn't get something through last week. I don't know. Anyways, I didn't know if you probably seen or heard about the Pete Carroll, the professor at USC in his last class, and how Rich Eisen and his wife went to his class, and how moved they were by the message, and how awesome that was. Really, I mean, that was just awesome. I'm like, man, bring that to the Raiders and the young people and stuff. It's just really great to see them. The vibes feel great. And here's the thing is, I think, we're excited about the future. And here, a lot of people say, well, we want to see it on the field. Yeah, we know. But here's the thing. It feels right. Like the coach is proven, Pete Carroll. It's right. It feels right. Spytek, when he got hired as a GM, I go, that feels right, because I was hoping for that, actually. Chip Kelly as an offensive coordinator, not as a head coach. As an offensive mind, yeah. That feels right. He's a mastermind. And I think a lot of these tools and people they're getting in the draft he's going to tinker and do all kinds of stuff. Maybe that's why they're even getting them. I was just thinking about that. But just all the stuff just feels good, feels right. And I think that's why we can be excited about this. I'm just excited for the season because the things and the fit and everything feels right. And it hasn't felt like that in a very long time. Even when we got John Gruden, out of the box for 10 years of announcing all that stuff, it still is like, yeah, that's nice, but it just didn't feel right. I was like, he's not proven again. And the only reason he went anywhere with the Bucs because it was handed to him, all that defense, and they knew exactly, what Gannon and the Raiders were going to do, so he knew exactly how to play.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would play the Eagles that year and not the Bucs. I think they would have for sure had a chance to win that one. But, it just feels right. It just feels right what they're doing. This is finally a good, solid foundation, putting pieces together. It feels right. And that's why we can be excited about the future. And I feel good about it. I feel excited. And Derek Carr, I wish him well. I hope, they do. He deserves to have the one day and retire as a Raider, because Al Davis said once a Raider, always a Raider. But anyways, here's feeling right about the season going forward. And it just feels, it was just really good. And have a great day. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
There you go, Steve.
Validation does feel right.
Absolutely right. Yeah, I agree with him. And and it's what's interesting. The point that he made there about Gruden, we're like, when was the last time it felt like felt right or whatever, good fits, whatever terminology you want to put around it. Even the Gruden thing, I'm with him. It felt like a nostalgia play.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were excited because of what once was, but aside from the nostalgia version of it, when was the last time where it was like, oh yeah, okay, that we can see it. We don't have to look for like, well, if this happens and this happens, then this will work out fine. I'm kind of with him. Like it does. I think the fits and the setups and all that. I think it's very well put together. From a coaching and front office staff and all that stuff. So yeah. Thanks. Yeah, good stuff, Steve in San Diego.
There you go, Steve.
Yeah. All right, we got one more to get to. Let's see what we got here. We've got here we go. Going old school. Speaking of a nostalgia play, let's check in with our buddy Mojo.
Oh, nice.
What's up, Raiders Fan Radio, Raider Nation? It's your boy Mojo here. I want to talk about something, man. Every damn year. By the end of the season, I'm convinced the NFL is rigged. I swear I'm done. Never watching again. But like clockwork, I'm back. I'm always hyped for Raiders football every year. Maybe it's the tailgates. Maybe it's Raider Nation. Or hell, maybe it's you guys at Raiders Fan Radio keeping me hooked. But this year's different. Don't we say that every year? It's Pete Carroll and the draft class that's got me buzzing this year, man. I'm probably selling myself a lie again. But damn, I can't help it. Just win, baby. Mojo out.
Love it, Mojo. Yeah, great call, Mojo. And yeah, we're totally with you, man. So yeah, I mean, I feel like every year we're just when we thought we were out, they pull us back in. You know?
Yeah, well, and you know, that's Mojo preseason. Here about 8 weeks in.
How about this? There's 90 people associated with the team that just got put out on the field. 88 of them can lick my whole butthole.
Oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, listen, man, every year, Mojo. But appreciate good hearing from you, Mojo.
Yeah.
We miss hanging out with you, Mojo. I know you guys got to see him at the
that was amazing. He put on a
fire tailgate, man.
Yeah, he did.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He made more ribs than what we knew what to do with.
Man, they were so
He
good.
brought out I made like 6 racks of ribs.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Sweet.
oh geez. And he's like, and I got a charcuterie board, and I got this, and I got that. I'm like, holy cow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it
Diet
was
starts on
amazing.
Monday.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was
you ain't
amazing.
kidding.
Yeah, right on, man. Good stuff.
Bringing
there,
ribs in our pocket into Tampa Stadium. Yeah, dude.
Anyways, appreciate you, Raider Nation. Appreciate everybody that called and emailed the show tonight. And so we always take we give a Sizzler Award to those of you. Take it away, Swag Jeff.
So thanks for all the emailers and phone callers of the night. So we take each and every phone call or email, and we throw them in a hat right there, and I pick out the best call or emailer of the night, and that is the BRT Sizzler Award. And tonight we had some great emailers. We had Trinidad, Martin, and Paul. And on the voicemail side, we had Ernesto, Jacob in Fresno, Steve in San Diego, and Mojo. Tonight's Sizzler Award goes to a guy that just had started great conversation and all that, and we might have to change some things up in the way Michelle reads her emails, because tonight's Sizzler Award goes to Paul.
Sizzler. We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Gentil. You've been doing that lately. Annie, you okay? You okay?
Gentil.
Gentil.
Michelle's like, you are not funny. And it isn't not getting any funnier the more that you do it.
So the chat thinks that was hilarious.
I'm sure somebody.
And that's
in there.
really what
That's nice. Yeah. Sure, my mom will think it's funny or something.
Paul says, thanks, Swaggo, for the Sizzler. I'll mention DC more in the future.
No.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I'll do
I'll
that.
start deducting Sizzlers.
Yeah, we will start taking them back. Yeah.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Appreciate everybody that joined us live tonight here at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Appreciate the good folks that believe.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
believe.
Thanks for believing in us.
Oh man.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Raider Nation. Appreciate Believe. Appreciate everybody in the chat room tonight. Thank you to all of those of you that joined us and are listening to us on the audio podcast. So we're going to be off next week, and then we'll be back the week after that. And then a couple more weeks after that, we'll be hopefully in the new studio. Man. We'll be in the Fan Cave 2.0. 2.0, which we got to go tour here real quick before you guys head out.
Oh,
Well,
cool.
yeah.
So anyways, appreciate you, Raider Nation. We love you guys. Thank you for your support of the One Nation Foundation.
Thanks everyone for hanging in there. I know this is like we're headed into the dark times, but the summer of swag is coming, and I don't know if you're going to mention that, but like, so hang in there with us through what feels like there's nothing on but pillow fights on ESPN, but it's going to get really good. So thanks for hanging with us.
There you go. There you go. Well, you know what they say. This is the dark time, but the night is darkest just before the dawn.
Oh.
And the dawn is coming.
Oh, Jeff.
Wow.
Yeah. Shout out Dark Knight. Shout out Dark Knight. Thanks for being here. Yoshi, Jordan Ford, Storm, Alec M, let's see, Paul, Yoshi, Ron the Mater Raider holding it down in the chat room with that wrench right there. Storm, Mark Barris, Jordan Ford, SoCal Sal, Foxy Scorpio. Can't thank you guys enough for being here. Min Pan is in there. Can't thank you guys enough for being here for another episode of Raiders Fan Radio, episode 373, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. Hey, if you weren't playing along at home or whatever, if you're listening on the audio podcast, hit us up on the Twitter. Let us know what your schedule predictions are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Do that. We'd love to hear from you. You can call us. You can email us. All that stuff. We want to hear from you, Raider Nation. So on behalf of Michelle, on behalf of Murph, my name is Swag Jeff. You've been listening to Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. And don't forget, boys and girls, what happens in Vegas, starter in Oakland.
Way to hit the post, Swag Jeff.
Well, yeah.
Good night, YouTube.
Goodbye.